You're listening to the Mike and Carla Morning Show on 96.3 KKLZ.
John Anderson of Yes.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, that voice, John, that voice, it's beautiful just talking to you.
Your voice too, my love.
Oh, well, that's very sweet.
Bringing Yes back to Vegas, Smith Center, Labor Day weekend.
One more time before it all goes crazy.
I know.
I thought it already did go crazy,
Didn't
then
it?
you brought it back, and there's a chance it might go again.
Oh, yeah. We're going to keep going. What else are you going to do? I'm not going to drive a bus.
Is that the next step, right? You can't golf, can you, John?
Actually, I can play very good golf on our little 9-hole golf course by the ocean down the road.
Oh, nice. Oh, that sounds
Do you
so
still
nice.
live in the woods?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Up in the hills, in the woods, in my cottage at the moment, my studio, and life is wonderful.
John, I just want to know what you were thinking when you said mountains come out of the sky and they stand there.
Very, very, very simple. We were driving down Scottish Highlands from Aberdeen to Glasgow, and there was just a single road going through these amazing sort of valleys, and then the bottom of the mountains would be right where the road was. It was so very tight going down there, and you looked up to the top of the mountain and you couldn't see the top because the clouds were so low, and it looked like the mountains were coming out of the sky.
See?
He wrote that
See?
down,
I
and look
know.
what becomes a great hook for a
Oh,
song.
my
Yeah, then I smoked a joint, and what happened?
Yes, I was going to say, how high were you, John?
I'm still high, believe me.
And John, let me ask you, because there's a lot of stories about not only your singing voice, but your voice in general. Do you come from a family of high talkers?
Not really. No, I think it was very simple. In the 60s, when I had my first band, we'd be on tour all over Germany and Scandinavia and England, and we would be doing top 10 music, as you do when you start. You do the top 20. And we'd be doing good vibrations, and we needed high vocals. And I used to use my sort of falsetto. I used to have falsetto, but at that time, I think I'd smoked so much weed, I couldn't really sing falsetto, so I started straining to hit the high notes.
Yeah.
So by the time I started working with Chris, I could already hit some high notes, but if you listen to the early Yes, I'm singing pretty low and very sort of like a tenor.
Right.
But over the first 2 or 3 years, I started singing higher for some reason, maybe to get over the noise of the band.
And do you still do good vibrations in concert?
I do it in my head every day.
I bet. Okay.
Your few musicians sounded like a 30-piece orchestra. You guys had such a huge sound. Did you realize what you guys were doing at the time?
No, not really. You knew that those very early or late 60s, early 70s, the door was open because there was no, I felt I was too old to be a pop star, that's for sure. And I was 27, 28, and then, you start listening to symphonic music and try ideas out. I remember the first rehearsal we ever did, we actually did a song called Something's Coming from West Side Story.
Oh, wow.
Simply because the guitarist was playing the part of the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, everything's free in America, So we started jiving around with that idea, and all of a sudden we were trying to be like a full-blown orchestra sound. And over the years, especially the first 3 years, we found that we really liked to experiment. And experimentation created what Yes became when you start doing Heart of the Sunrise, a long-distance runaround. Very experimental ideas on a very simple song, and that was the key.
Now, you say your sound basically came out of listening to something from West Side Story.
Yeah.
You talked to Dee Snider from Twisted Sister,
Oh, yeah.
and the song We're Not Gonna Take It Anymore comes from one of his band members listening to A Christmas Carol, Oh Come All Ye Faithful.
Right.
Well, if you think about it, I've always thought about that we're like bees. Musicians are that. We collect musical pollen from every direction. And basically that's what musicians are. They learn from other orchestral pieces, symphonic work, jazz, fusion. We loved, when we first started as a band, we just loved Frank Zappa. And, of course, everybody loved the Beatles, and especially the great Revolver album and,
Sure.
Sgt. Pepper, because they were very adventurous. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to be more adventurous in the 70s. And then keyboards came along with choir sounds and orchestral sounds. And that's when Rick Wakeman joined the band. It was like the doors open, musically speaking, because we never made music for the radio. We never thought about getting a hit record. We just thought about making really good music for stage.
Yeah.
And I'm still doing that exact same thing.
What's your favorite song? What song is it that Yes does, and every time you kick into it, you say, yeah, this is the one?
Awaken is so
I
special
can't
to
wait to
my
see this
heart
show.
because people say, how did you get to that point where you actually created that album?
By the way, John, I heard this. I don't know if you still do it, but I heard this story. Before you go on stage, you meditate in a tent.
Oh, yeah.
You still do that?
That was just 2 tours. Bizarre thing about touring, you're actually performing in a sort of basketball arenas when you're in that sort of world.
Right.
So your dressing rooms are basketball dressing rooms, and they're very, very cold and just not really comfortable for me. So I just went to Sears and got a tent. I painted some designs on it and hung some those kind of things to help you sleep, the dream catchers and things like that.
Right.
Good.
So I had a little table and I had a little lie-low, like a little bed, a little chair, and I had my little beatbox. And I used to play symphonic music in my tent.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter where I was home in my tent.
Wow. I love
That is
it.
great.
I love it.
There he is with the dream catcher smoking a little weed.
I know. Why not? It's John Anderson. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
Well, it's legal now everywhere.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's no more fun.
No, exactly.
Not fun. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer John Anderson with Yes, Smith
Thank
Center.
you.
That's great to say, John, by the way. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Hall of
Yeah.
Famer, that's me. Thank you very much.
KKL